What's up, everyone? Tyler from Jump in Real Estate. I'm here with my good friend Nick. We're chatting through episode 1 of Side Hustle Stories, The Road to 2K. This is a challenge that Nick and I came up with, a few weeks ago.
I
Essentially,
feel
we
like
want
it
to
was really
try
like a
and
week ago.
we want to try and figure out a way to generate $2,000 a month on the side, aside from our W-2 jobs, outside of our real estate investments, essentially through building a business online or consulting, freelancing, that kind of stuff. So it's all about the side hustle, but hopefully the side hustle for Nick at least turns into a real hustle. Um, but I think, this first episode, we'll call it, this will be kind of a video series. Episode 1 will be all about just kind of the introductions of Nick and myself and kind of what our goals are in this and why we're doing it. So Nick, you want to say hi to everyone and just touch on kind of your life and work background and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sounds good. So, hey everyone, I'm Nick, as Tyler mentioned. I was a software developer for 5.5 years, born and raised in the Bay Area, Oakland.
Woo.
Right now, actually, though, I am living on the other side of the world. So last year, I quit that job. I decided to sell on stuff and buy a one-way ticket to Southeast Asia, where I've been for the last 3 months. Started in Bali, and now I'm here in Thailand. And actually, the whole purpose behind that was to get a little travel in, as well as trying to, start like Tyler said, start my new side hustle, try and make some money online. And I figure, living out here is a little cheaper than the Bay Area, so I can have a longer runway and meet hopefully some like-minded people.
So here's the crazy thing about Nick is he, other than a cruise to Mexico, you've never really been out of the country, right? Like,
Correct.
you literally
So
decided to just like, okay, I'm gonna hop on a flight. I'm gonna go see some third world countries for the first time ever. I've never been outside of the U.S. or Mexico, but that's one thing I really admire about you, man. Obviously, it's to focus on, as we're talking through right now, like your side hustle, which will hopefully become something bigger than that. But I guess my quick intro, the creator behind Jump in Real Estate, the blog, and I was born and raised also in the Bay Area. Grew up in Berkeley, so not too far from Nick. But we actually met a couple of years ago. Nick was kind enough to show up to one of my meetups. We'll call it a meetup of about
yeah, just asked you out of the
three
blue.
three or four people. So, but here we are 2 years later, man. We formed a strong friendship and we're continuing to push each other to the next level. And so right now I'm working in sales and business field in the sports industry in the Bay Area. Also have obviously real estate investments on the side, out of state mostly. But I think as this show, we'll call it. Should we call it a show with quotes? Is it really a show? I don't even know.
It's a show.
It's a show. This is going to be catered more towards that side hustle, that drive, and the challenges that we go through to try and increase our income outside of our normal jobs. But Nick, you want to tell us, or I guess everyone, about kind of what your primary source of income is right now, and then I'll touch on mine, and then we'll kind of go into like why we're doing this whole challenge.
Sure. So, like I said, I quit my job a year ago, so definitely don't have a W-2 anymore. Actually, right now, I'm living off of one of my investments, which is real estate. So I bought a duplex in Oakland about almost exactly 5 years ago now. Put a lot of sweat and tears into that thing, ripping out walls and tiles myself. And I rented out both sides, and luckily the market's been good to me. So right now I'm living off the money I make after I pay all my expenses. So that's what's funding my travels here in Southeast Asia and allowing me to try my hand at the hustle to create a business.
I wish I bought in Oakland 5 years ago like you, man. You were ahead of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I was born and raised there, so I saw the prices go up, then rock bottom, and I was like, wait, I want to jump on this. They're going to rebound, so.
And then just so everyone knows, like in terms of my sources of income, my primary source is my W-2 job right now. That's, I don't even know the percentages, but probably 80 to 90% of my income right now, outside of my secondary income now, which is like real estate and some other stuff like that. But yeah, I guess side income for me is real estate. I'm making some money right now online through some various sources, but and I've always been kind of the side hustle guy. So I was always the guy that would be, right at 5:30 after work, hopping in my car to go deliver groceries or delivering Postmates. So I've always been kind of that side hustle kind of guy. So that's why I think this was kind of a cool story for us to start. But is there anything else, Nick, that you invest in right now, or any sources of income that you have? I mean, I know you're in like Wealthfront, and you're in the stock game a little bit, but is that anything else noteworthy of income sources for you right now, like freelancing? And you mentioned, I think you're getting paid a little bit to develop something, but anything else in terms of income coming in right now?
So I do have a good amount of money put into Wealthfront. So it's like a robo-advisor. So they automatically distribute your money in various different assets. So it's kind of pretty hands-off. Haven't done like amazing with that, but it's better than what I get in the bank, so I'm not complaining. I've thrown some money into a index fund, like an S&P 500 like fund, through what's called Vanguard. And the last thing, just recently, actually, both of us, we both put money into a syndication deal out in Indianapolis. So put some money into that.
Louisville.
Louisville, yeah. Oh, sorry, you're right. Whoops. we met the person who put the syndication deal. We met him in Indianapolis. So I was like, oh, that's where the investment is. But now Louisville.
Good thing we're not running the deal. We're just limited partners. Otherwise, if you don't know where your property is, man,
I know
it's not gonna be good.
I just have so many investments everywhere I can't keep track.
Well, I mean, I think that like it's a good segue into kind of the meat and bones of this. Again, this first episode, the goal for us is to generate $2,000 a month, reoccurring, hopefully, by the end of July. So we're sitting here right now, and it is end of April. So, Nick, we got May, June. We got 3 months to figure out how to make an additional $2,000 on the side, which I think we'll dive kind of into like the why. But for me, I think it's a couple things. I think it's a challenge. Like $2,000 is, that is a pretty substantial number for a lot of people in this world. And even if you're making a ton of money, like $2,000 a month on the side extra, I mean that's clutch, and that's going to help you accelerate your financial future and your investments down the line. So I think it's a challenge for me. I do want to be able to bring in this money and not rely on my W-2 income as much, and diversify the portfolio, we'll call it. I think it'll provide me with other opportunities as well, and different options, not having to rely so much on one or two sources of income. So that's kind of the reason why I got into it. And I think I told Nick about my financial goals, and he's like, let's do a little challenge here. I mean, you're out in Bali right now, or I guess you're in Thailand right now specifically, but with you surviving off of your rental income, that's not going to be enough and super sustainable for the rest of your life. So you need to come up with different strategies. So, I mean, Nick, what's kind of your reason for trying to hit that $2,000 a month mark by July?
Yeah. So, well, for one, like you mentioned, the real estate income is not quite enough to live the lifestyle I want to live. It's enough to get by here in Southeast Asia, but, eventually I want to come back to the States, and I definitely couldn't live off what I have now. I've always kind of wanted to do my own thing. I had a job for a long time, just, basically management changed, team morale went down, people were very unhappy, people were quitting left and right, and basically I don't want to ever have to rely on someone else's, I don't want to work on someone else's dream or someone else's project or rely on that for my income. Like, if I'm unhappy, I'd like have the freedom to just, bounce and like do something else or find another job. So, having more money coming in just allows that much more stability and freedom. Like currently my rental income is only like $2,000, so I figured adding another $2,000 would double it.
Double up right there.
And make a more realistic income. So, at $4,000 a month, I feel like I can live a pretty good life. So that's kind of my reason.
I'm curious, Nick, like when I first told you like my goal was to make $2,000 a month by the end of July, and I was like, Nick, you want to try and get on this challenge with me? Like, what was your first thought? Was it like, oh yes, let's do it, or was it like, oh, that's like challenge? Like I'm a little scared to try and lay that out there and make it public, or like what were your thoughts when I first said, Nick, let's do this?
Oh, in typical Nick fashion, I was like, I'm all in, baby. Like you said, I quit my job, sold my stuff, and just moved on the side of the world without ever really leaving the country. So that's just totally just me.
I think that's like that might be a reason why like we work well together is because like you have a higher risk tolerance than me, I think. I tend to be a little more calculated, I think, and planned out in some ways. But it's like that's what makes this a good dynamic, I think. But yeah, I think for me, like in terms of what I want to gain from this, it's like again, it's a big challenge. It's not going to be easy. Like I need to work on some skills. Like I can only make so much through side hustling. Like my plan, just to give you guys a sneak peek of next episode, is like I want to try and build a couple businesses, like legit businesses in the marketing space and through online business. So this is not a challenge where it's like, okay, Tyler, I'm going to drive Uber, 40 hours a week and hit that goal. This is like I'm going to start a couple businesses that are going to be a long-term play for me. So that's where I really see this challenge being very valuable for me, at least. But yeah, I mean, anything else on your end, Nick, before we close up this episode and have the credits scroll down and say goodbye?
Yeah, no, so I'm really excited actually for the skills that I'll gain by trying this. Like Tyler, I'm also trying to create a business. For me, I'm primarily focusing on like one type of business model online. So I'm not trying to try too many different things since it's such a short, time that we have to do this. But I am actually, while I'm here, actually in Thailand, I've met a few people who, need a few things coded. So I picked up, the odd freelancing like thing, but I'm not hoping to make that a big part of my 2K income. Like I'm hoping like all the income comes from my new business venture. So.
Yeah. So that's a little preview for our next episode. We'll dive a little more into depth or into detail on how exactly we both see ourselves achieving 2K a month. And as Nick alluded to right there, his model and his strategy is very different from mine. I mean, I'm attacking it from the perspective of let's try and make a couple hundred here, couple hundred here, couple hundred here. Whereas Nick is going all in on this is my one business idea. Okay. Let's make 2K, okay. and then he's hoping he's going to win the challenge, but we'll see.
I'm going to win. I'm going to win.
Because it is a challenge, man. It is a challenge. And it's good that it's a challenge because I know, at least for myself, I won't speak for you, Nick, but if I didn't say and tell myself and work with you and say this is an actual challenge, like I need to check in with you once a week and make this public, like I know for a fact I would probably put this off and not put as much effort into it. So
yes.
Back to how Nick and I are actually accountability partners. We do check in once a week, but that could be a different episode. We'll talk about that later. Any last words from you, Nick? Not last words. It sounds like you're dying, but like any last notes on this episode before we say bye to our millions of viewers?
Yeah, future million. Think positive. No, I think that's it. I think we covered everything I wanted to say. Hey, I look forward to meeting you, Tyler, in the challenge.
Quick question. What if we made $2,000 a month off of just YouTube ads on this video? Challenge, it'd be over, right?
Done. One video. One and done.
That'd be like cheating. So I think we have to find another way to make some more money. Anyways, I think that's it, Nick. Everyone else, thanks for watching episode 1. Stay tuned for the next episode where we dive into detail in terms of what we're actually going to be doing to make that $2,000 a month. So this is Tyler signing off. That's Nick.
This is Nick signing off.
All right. Peace.